Who are the people you've had on that you've been super excited about, or you've even got a little bit, I don't know if you still get this, but a little bit nervous beforehand?
It's been a while since I had someone on that made me nervous before I recorded. Peterson still gives me a little bit of it. Alain de Botton from the School of Life, I did him in November of last year, and he was just such a hero to me. I mean, the episode did well. I think it was really meaningful to a lot of people, but it wasn't, Matthew McConaughey is probably one of the biggest names I've ever had on. I was like just sat chilling before he arrived. I didn't feel any heart rate change at all. But I think it's because the reason that we get a little nervy around people isn't really because of how big that, you could sit down with the Sultan of Brunei or some shit and you say, this guy is worth so much money and so many people know he is. It's like, who is he to you? He's nobody. Yeah. But you could sit down with someone that's been a childhood hero that maybe only a few thousand people know about and be shitting yourself. Yeah. So just trying to reframe it, I guess, at least for me, is this is the sort of thing, after a while, if you've done something for a very, very long time, what you realize is if you still have imposter syndrome, it's got nothing to do with your ability to deliver stuff to yourself, because you keep on delivering. If it's not 900 repetitions of something, when is it? When are you going to begin to believe in yourself? You know what I mean? If it wasn't 7 years of doing this at least once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week, when? And for the people who are chronically unconfident in sort of taking risks, they're unsure whether or not things are going to go well, a lot of the time, if they're doing new stuff, it feels justified. You think, well, I don't have that much evidence that I can do this thing. But after a while, you realize now you have a lot of evidence and you're still addicted to feeling like an imposter because it's a protection mechanism for you, because it means that if things don't go well, you have a get out of jail free card. Yeah. Because you can say, oh, well, it is only episode 20 or whatever. Oh, well, I actually haven't done the dance recital that many. Oh, I haven't actually practiced that song all that much. It's relatively new. And then one of the advantages is you have this huge stack of evidence that suggests that you can do the thing. One of the disadvantages is that you've got nowhere to hide if it goes wrong. Yeah. So it's a mixed bag.
Speaking of things going wrong, have you ever had an episode that has just not aged very well?
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I've got 2, I would say.
Maybe you're more self-critical than me. What are those? Which ones?
Well, remember, the 4th person that came on was Tristan.
Yep.
And then straight after that, obviously they got locked up. So I was getting quite a lot of hate from that incident.
People, most played video on your YouTube channel, huh?
Yeah, people going back to the Instagram posts and the YouTube videos saying like, oh, I can't believe you would platform a human trafficker, all this kind of thing.
Sorry, I wasn't gifted with fucking divination to be able to see what was going to, clairvoyant, and I can see what was going to happen in 3 weeks' time.
Exactly. And then there's someone, I won't say any names, who's currently in a Dubai jail cell.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not that it hasn't aged well. It's that people that you speak to tend to be risk-taking, which makes them interesting guests. And those people that are risk-taking sometimes end up in jail. So congratulations. Like fucking shock horror risk-takers end up in fucking prison.
Yeah. So you haven't had many?
I imagine that in the 900 people, I realized this before, there must be guests I've had on the show that have died. I just haven't realized. Old dusty professors maybe from somewhere. I certainly have met people at conferences I've spoken at, academic conferences. A guy called John Tooby, who's this grandfather of evolutionary psychology, legend. And he came up and he said some really lovely things about the podcast. I'm like, fuck, like the guy's a legend. And he passed away last year. And I remember thinking, like, shit, like I met that guy. Yeah. And there'll be people who will have had cancer diagnoses, who will have become bankrupt, people that will have gone to jail. And there is this sense of like camaraderie. You brought this person on, you had a really intimate conversation with this person about something that they really care about, and it was part of your journey. It's 1/1000th of the thing that you care about a lot. And you do have this sort of sense of partnership with people in that way. But I recorded an episode with Tate. I didn't release it because it was during COVID and it would have got my channel nuked. And then by the time that COVID wasn't a problem and he was huge, it would have been a bit of a middle finger to him because he was being gregarious during the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And, I just felt a bit icky about releasing something where he was speculating about a fast-moving news event. And I was just going to be like putting it out for the plain reason that it was going to get a lot of plays. And I was like, okay, I'll just keep it. I won't bother releasing it still now.
Yeah.
So that one, every so often a guest has a bad day. They're not in the right place. We made a wrong decision with a guest booking, and somebody couldn't communicate their ideas quite as slickly as we would like. And, the other thing is, I'm being diplomatic here, but...
Yeah, what happens? You're like 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, God.
That's awkward. It is, because I'm like...
I had one of those.
I know pretty quickly whether or not it's going to go out. It very rarely gets salvaged 15 minutes in if the first 15 minutes was bad.
So what do you do?
I just watch the clock countdown to an hour and whatever, and then sort of, right, thank you for coming, and blah, 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 and then go like...
Yeah.
It feels bad because part of it is, it is exclusively my responsibility. I booked them on the show. I did the research. I looked at the guest. I thought or hoped that I could get them into the right place. It was my job to curate the questions more effectively, to pick the guest to fit the show. It's my fault. So I just take it on the chin and go, okay, that's another lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Maybe once every 3 months or so, a few times a year, that'll happen. And I guess if you're doing 150 a year of anything, you're going to get 150 gym sessions a year. You're going to have a couple of bad ones.